Morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're watching this and where you live. Well, whatever time of day it is and wherever you are, I'm so glad you're here. I am going to here we go. Yay. I'd love to see if we are live on LinkedIn, and we are. Depending on when you're I'm really, really, really looking forward to this conversation today. I'm going to just type some comments in here and see if you guys are able to see them. So please let me know. Let's see here. Let me know if you can see this. I think you can because I'm on my phone. And then I'm going to double check. And now let me know if you can see this message. Hey, Greg. How are you? Thank you so much. I love my regulars. I've missed you guys. I have been traveling, and I'm going to miss next week because I'm traveling again. I'm literally on a plane, and boy, oh boy. Okay, Donnie, did you see both of them? Can you see this? And then let me know if you can see this with the all caps this. For those of you who don't, know my entire backstory, which that could be everybody. It could be some. Okay, good. Oh, good, Greg. I'm glad. The rest of the countries I gather is going to get some nice weather. So I'm sure it's nice in Florida. I hope it's nice in Florida anyway. We definitely miss sunshine. Although look, it's kind of streaming through my blinds. So maybe we are going to get some sunshine today. Let's see. As everybody's coming in, please. Oh, there's 12 of you here. So number one thing that we're going to do today is put your fingers in the air, wiggle them around. 87, Greg. Oh, God, that sounds great. Okay, wiggle your fingers around. And now, are you ready for this? Turn them downward to your keyboard. And if you're on your phone, it's just your thumbs. Beep, bop, boop. Okay, now that your hands are there, let me know where you're tuning in from and what your JOB is, what you do. Do you interface with donors? Are you in sales? What are you up to? What's your background? Talk to me a little bit about who's here, because that helps me customize our conversation today. And I have got some of the juiciest gems today. I know that that's a little bit of a mix of a metaphor, but they're juicy gems, if that's a thing. So let me know. We've already established fingers are working. They're limber. They go down to your keyboard or the thumbs. They tippy-tappy like this. Okay? If you're just listening, I want you to consider hopping on your computer so that you can do some of these things side by side with me, because that is the key, is actually experiencing some of these tools. That's how you learn. Cool. All right. Yeah. So I was going to tell you all that my business partner, our vice president of strategic partnerships, who is also my lovely husband, is in the chat to help answer questions, so that when I'm going a mile a minute, if you have a question, please do drop it in there. Hi, Jafor. Oh, from Bangladesh. Yes. Awesome. I love our international crowd. Development coordinator at, shoot, my screen is stuck. Okay. Development coordinator at IPIS. What is that? I want to know what that is. All right. So what do you do? All right. I have a question for everybody too, while you're tippy tapping. Have you spent the 10 hours we're using ChatGPT or another large language model? And the reason I ask is because that's kind of the magical number. Most of, the folks who talk about AI adoption will say about 10 hours of a time investment is where you're going to start getting like the really, really good results that all the hype is about. Or do you use Gen AI every day? Or are you somewhere in the middle? So let us know, okay? All right, there's 22 people here, so I would love, love, love to see a little bit more info. I'm going to dive in because I've got some, like I said, I've got juicy gems. But yeah, do let me know about your involvement. Like, where are you in your AI adoption journey? Okay. I'm going to assume, I'm going to kind of talk to the middle. All right. So that we're everyday hours. That's what I figured, Greg. It's like literally how I spend my life now. I've become addicted to certain AI like workflows where I cannot do it the old way anymore. It like my brain won't let me, which is awesome. Okay. So listen, here's where I want to start actually. I'm going to skip past these things and I'm going to harp on this one real quick. Do you need ChatGPT Plus? Absolutely, 100%. Do not pass go. Definitely go get it. And I promise I will teach you how to make your $20 a month back. I'm going to teach you today how you're going to save way more than the $20 that you're investing. ChatGPT 3.5 is like not the same tool as ChatGPT Plus. Like, and I'll walk you through it, but it doesn't even compare. And our concern is that folks who are using 3.5 are going to have like results and a not great experience. And they're going to think, oh yeah, generative AI isn't for me. Please, please, please invest the $20 a month in ChatGPT Plus. I promise you, you will not regret it. And I will teach you how to make your money back. In fact, I'm going to teach you that today. So just a smidgen bit about like, I'm not just some random lady on the internet. Welcome, by the way, everybody. We've got a few more people pouring in. It's delightful to see you all here. Yay. Happy Friday. I hope it's gorgeous where you are and that you are geared up for rest and relaxation and maybe some sunshine this weekend. So when I figured out that generative AI was going to like completely change my life and improve the quality of my work and make things flow easier and solve that question that I've been walking around with my whole life of there's got to be a better way. I went all in on it and I immediately started training other fundraisers as soon as I felt like I was like the fifth grader to the fourth grader. So we've trained 2,000 fundraisers so far and counting. I went and got some credentials, which is really important, especially in the AI exchange. I learned really good prompting methodology because prompting is the answer to getting good results. It's like the learning kind of hurdle that folks go through. And the next time I'm on, I'm going to teach you the prompting like framework that I use. But where I really learn is in community. There are only a couple of ingredients for being really good at generative AI. One is a curious mind. The other is a willingness to be vulnerable, meaning you are going to make mistakes. You are going to, at some point in time, you're going to produce something that somebody else sees and you're like, yeah, that wasn't great. Or you're going to just feel like you're not the smartest person in the room for a while as you get used to learning these tools. So curious mind, vulnerability, and the other one is community. It's really like generative AI is face meltingly existential, and it's so important to have other people to talk to about it. Donnie and I host weekend GPT jams for everybody. So come visit with us on Saturdays at noon Pacific. We do tech showcases. We do peer-to-peer mentoring. We do social hours. We do what else? Teaching art. We're going to do like, what does an AI consultant do? We run the gamut. Our goal is to create community because it's so incredibly important. And then, all that kind of stuff. I have done tech rollouts and change stewardship. We're an AI first company. And I just recently launched this She Leads AI initiative. And we actually have our quarterly roundtable event tomorrow, which is going to be super dope, and which you can find at an address that I'm going to give you in a second. So the other thing that's very important to me is that we make a pledge to one another that we are not going to put confidential information into ChatGPT, okay? Or Code Interpreter, or Midjourney, or DALL-E. Nowhere in our workflows are we going to put confidential information in ChatGPT. And it's actually very easy to avoid doing it, like way easier than probably everybody thinks, right? Because it's very, very worrisome, and I completely understand that. So if you're here, put into the chat, I will not put confidential information into ChatGPT. All right, this is where you're going to find your resources. And Donnie's going to drop this URL. Thank you. Donnie's going to drop this URL in. This is where we put, see where it says on-demand AI and fundraising training? It's kind of small, sorry. This is where we put the recordings of every single one of these Friday sessions. We put the recording, we put the deck, and we put any additional resources that we talked about or shared, we put them in here. So you are always going to be able to go in here and find like a whole resource library as you explore getting to know generative AI. Cool? And there's other stuff in there, and there's more stuff coming, but like totally use this as a resource. This is kind of gold. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, right? Like, we've figured a lot of this stuff out to the extent that anything can be figured out at this point in time. And we share it like super, super happily. And I just hope that everybody avails themselves of it. All right, so what is responsible AI actually good at? And why did I start thinking about this? About this notion that we should even use Gen AI as a mentor. I have thought for years and years and years and years about what is happening in the fundraising industry as the mentors become fewer and farther between, as hiring managers and middle managers and even senior leaders take on, more and more ambitious goals and are pulled in more and more directions and are struggling with burnout just like everybody else, or super focused on building their own portfolio, their own career. Like their metrics are like as unattainable at times as other major gift officers and other ADODs and DXOs. Anyone in the whole fundraising profession is really super occupied already with building a reliable portfolio that they can look to year in and year out to meet their goals. Like that is no small feat. So the mentors are barely available. I have always been able to find good people because I'm really, for some reason, I don't have like any shyness about that at all. And I figure they can always say no, but most of the time when I ask somebody to mentor me, they do say yes. Sometimes they follow through on it and sometimes they don't. But for the most part, they're really far between. So like, you don't really have an expert to pop in and go like, hey, this thing happened with my department head. I wanted to just talk it through with you so that I can be sure that I understand what might be going on, or see if you have any ideas on how I could have handled this differently. Or this donor recently said XYZ, but before they said ABC, what should I do? Or I need to prepare for a really tough conversation. Can I, role play that with you? Or gosh, I'm feeling really burnt out. Um, what have you ever been that way? Is there anything that you could suggest to help me? I mean, you name it, we don't have those connections. For the most part, the access that we have is to peer mentors, which is actually a fantastic resource. But what I'm here today to teach you is how we can use ChatGPT, which is on 24/7, 365, gleefully, happily, enthusiastically here to support you, right? Like that is what ChatGPT does. This machine that is smarter, has read every single book about human psychology and buying psychology and fundraising psychology, knows everything there is to know, or has read everything there, trained on, all of the available research on anything that you would ask it for mentorship on. I am not saying that, that ChatGPT is always going to be better than a human, but if you have some human advice and some advice from ChatGPT, your overall game plan is always going to be stronger. All right. So here are the three things that ChatGPT is really good at. And we'll talk about how each of these things, I'll demonstrate actually for you how each of these things relates to using ChatGPT as your 24/7 mentor. And by the way, if anyone has any burning questions about AI that they want to make sure get answered today, please do feel free to drop those. And by the way, also by the way, to everybody who's just joined in the last couple of minutes, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you've used ChatGPT for 10 hours or less, if you use it all day every day, or somewhere in the middle. It's important for me to know, how advanced folks are. So, searching. We all spend how much time looking for various documents, factoids, backup for statements that we're making. We might need to find, I don't know, previous documents. We might need to find guidelines or the employee handbook or, right? We're always looking for stuff. And one of the things that ChatGPT is so good at is helping us create our own little world of knowledge that we can constantly talk to. Okay. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. The other thing these tools are really good at is predicting. And an example in this context is we can pull information up, we can put together some information about a donor with a fictitious name, as well as a program that we're going to talk about. And we can predict what questions the donor might have based on their personality type, based on their background, based on previous conversations, based on whatever we put in. We can predict what questions they might have. We can predict what their objections might be. We can start working through those questions and those objections. We can figure out, what might be the very best, most meaningful way to engage them. And then we can start with okay, those are some of our options, but some of those sound really unrealistic. What would take the least amount of, resources for me and the least amount of time for me to put together? And tell me whether that would be a reasonable strategy. You could start analyzing the options. And the nice thing about it is that it's objective. So let's say you have a mentor who has had negative experience with, a particular type of personality type, or they are, really, really into fundraising for a particular type of academic area or other, priority. Their stuff that they share with you is going to be skewed by their lived experience. ChatGPT doesn't have lived experience. What it has, though, is access to all of the information on the publicly available internet for the past 40 years, which does not mean it's not biased. Of course it's biased. It's just like in our CRMs, garbage in, garbage out, and there's a lot of garbage on the internet. So we are always going to be looking for bias, hallucinations, just flat out errors. So it's not that ChatGPT is unbiased. It's just that It's more objective usually than human beings are. Um, and then it's good at generating stuff. So, examples are generating a thank you note, generating a creative brief, generating a request for a donor visit or an impact report. You get the gist, right? It's really good at generating things if you prompt correctly. Okay, so on that note, again, reminder about this because I'm going to teach you right now how to create a custom GPT, and you can only do this with ChatGPT Plus. Now, if you don't have ChatGPT Plus, don't leave because I want you to see what this is like, and then you can make a super informed decision about whether you want to invest in the $20 a month, okay? You're probably going to think that you want to because this is a very powerful tool that I'm about to show you. And it's so easy. It's really exciting. Okay, so here is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a little bit of, hold on one second. I'm going to give you a little orientation. Let me screen share. I'm going to show you ChatGPT 4, and then I'm going to show you custom GPTs. So I had a couple of requests recently to teach people how to make custom GPTs, and I'm working on a video series with a few of my friends on this very topic. So this next segment, I don't know, it'll probably take me about 10 minutes. This next segment, go back and look at it when you do get ChatGPT 4 if you don't have it, or just reach out to me because I might have like another video where you don't have to go through the whole thing. Okay, so we see this interface, correct? ChatGPT 4 has DALL-E, which means you can make images. You just put in, a couple words, or maybe you put in a whole ton, and you can get beautiful images in, I don't know, about 30 seconds. It allows you to do data analysis. So you can upload, say you have, with removing, of course, personally identifying information, but say you have, I don't know, a spreadsheet where you have the towns of like 87 donors in Southern Oregon, and you already know you've cut it off at a certain level. You're not going to put the names in there. And you want to know which towns you need to go to. Code Interpreter can tell you that. You just upload that information and you say, hey, what's interesting about this data? Or, hey, if I want to see, if I wanted to go to the towns with the highest concentration of humans who are on this spreadsheet, which towns would I go to, right? You don't have to have their names on there or anything because that's not even what you're looking for. Someone scan the QR code. So by the way, let me explain what that QR code is. That QR code in the upper left-hand corner, which I do know how to spell responsible. It's just that it only allows 18 characters. So if you put your phone at that and take a picture of it or tap on it, you're going to get our deck on all of the responsible AI services we offer, which are upskilling, help with governance, change management, and we can create bespoke AI solutions for you. So anyway, so definitely check that out. That's what we actually do for a living. We're Empowered Fundraiser. We do three things. One is we do professional development for mostly higher ed fundraisers. We do strategic consulting for nonprofits and higher ed advancement. And we do responsible AI. And we integrate all of those together for the most part. So anyway, all right, so GPT-4. These are little starters. So like, let's say you're just like, hey, give me some ideas, ChatGPT. Cool. These are my GPTs over here. I think these are all ones that I've made. Yeah, these are all ones that I've made. There's an important little section here that says customize ChatGPT. These are called custom instructions. This is going to help ChatGPT know who you are and how to work with you. And it's a pretty good start. However, look at this. So I say avoid hyperbole and cheesy humor. Avoid using these particular words. definitely DM me for a list of custom instructions, but it should never include these words that I have in here. Aficionados, fast-paced world, dive in, fear not, game-changing. But guess what? It ignores me. Oh, did I have beacon in here? It has been saying beacon all the time recently. It's driving me crazy. So sometimes it just ignores instructions. But we have to remember that today is the very worst that these tools are going to be. They get better every single day. And while they are magic, they're also not magic, right? They're also janky. They also don't work sometimes. And it can be frustrating. But we have to remember that, like, this is brand new stuff. Brand new stuff. This has only been around for a little while. And like I said, it's getting better and better every day. So let me show you what a custom GPT is. And this relates to the searching benefit of ChatGPT. So here's what we're going to do. We are just going to go here. Oops, gosh, I have so many. I'm addicted to them. This is actually the GPT store that OpenAI has created, so you can look through and use some GPTs that other people have made. So we're just going to go to create a GPT, and a custom GPT is basically an app. It's like on your iPhone or on your phone, you know, you've got the little apps, and you press one and it does something really specific. That's what a custom GPT is. It's your own app, and we can make it. And we could make one in 1 minute. I'm going to make you a 5-minute version. I'm going to walk you through a 5-minute version of how you can create a custom GPT that's going to be your mentor. So let me call this, I'm just going to call this my 24/7 mentor for development pros. Okay. So you're just going to give it a name. You're going to give it a little description. This GPT is your 24/7 mentor for development professionals. And actually, it just now occurs to me that this would work for a lot of people, but you know, whatever. And then we're going to begin telling the GPT what it is and how we want to engage with it. And bear with me because it might not make sense yet, but I promise you it's going to. Okay. And like I said, if you don't have ChatGPT 4, don't bail, because you're going to see this, you're going to decide if you want it, you're probably going to think yes, and I'm going to move on from this use case in about another 8 minutes. Okay, so this GPT is your 24/7 development mentor. Okay. You will work with the user to investigate questions about work, culture, and leadership. And then sometimes it's helpful to put these like 3 hashtags. And I know this seems really random. Just kind of put it in the back of your mind. 3 hashtags mean like, we're going to talk about something different right now. So I'm going to say, ask the user questions. Ask the user questions one at a time. Do not proceed until the question has been answered. And then go to the next one. Okay. Now, here's another little fun fact. I don't know, honestly, if these things but I just throw them in there because I've been taught to do them. I think they work. I think they help the GPT function just a little bit better. 3 hashtag means like this is a heading. 2 hashtags mean this is a heading 2, like a subtitle kind of a thing. So 3 hashtags. Let's see. How can I help you today to level up your leadership and or solve a tricky problem at work? Okay. Let's just leave it at one question. So here's where the magic happens. We're going to upload some files, and they are acting as our knowledge base. Oh, I forgot to put that in there. Go on to the next one. And then we're going to say, use the knowledge base first to answer questions. I'm going to leave it at that because I'm hoping that it will listen to me on that without a lot of extra instructing. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. And then we're going to create a conversation starter that says, hi, let's get started. Whatever. You can make those really detailed or not. So what I'm doing right now is I'm uploading some information, 7 ways to deal with gaslighting. Let's see. I've got building, what is psychological safety? So these are always PDFs, by the way. I think you might be able to, I'm not sure. You may be able to upload Excel. I'm not actually sure. I'm including some data that I've put together and published about metrics. And let's see, I think I have one more thing to round out this little piece of information for us. Psychological safety, metrics. I think that's got a bunch of stuff on women's giving. Should I put that in there? Why not? Let's just see. Okay. So guess what? That's it. That's our app that we've made. Oh, okay. You're not going to upload that? Okay, cool. No problem. I don't know why, but then we're going to go up here, upper right. We're going to say, everyone. We'll put this into like, I don't know. Let's leave it in education. Hit save. I didn't put a picture in. You can put a picture in. Just like takes like 30 seconds and I don't want to waste the time. Okay, let's get started. Now I'm having a conversation with ChatGPT, but I'm really going to be having a conversation with the information that I have uploaded. So I'm going to say, hi, I feel like I might be in a situation where I'm experiencing gaslighting. That said, I can't be sure. It's confusing. But it's possible that the person is trying their best and they should be given the benefit of the doubt. Can you help me figure out what might be going on? And I use this use case because this is something that I have struggled with. And actually talking to ChatGPT about gaslighting was my first revelation at how these tools can help me actually have a better life. Because I was able to talk through what was going on, and I determined that I actually didn't have enough evidence to conclude that I was actually being gaslighted. It just wasn't, I was telling myself stories, right? And I couldn't figure that out until I had a conversation with an objective source. So let's say recognition, feelings and reactions, consistency in behavior, impact on self-esteem, dependence. Okay, so now what it has done is it's read the article that I gave it. about gaslighting, and it's told me, a little bit because the article is called "What is Gaslighting?" So I'm going to say that's cool. And now I'm going to ask it to more specifically help me work through this. So that's cool. Can you help me by asking a few clarifying questions so we can ascertain what's going on? And you see, this is called natural language processing. ChatGPT knows, even though I have all those typos, when I'm being conversational, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you have a whole bunch of typos. Um, okay, so frequency and context. How often do these confusing interactions occur? So, by the way, right now it's ignoring my instruction to only ask one question at a time. So I'm going to actually say, this is overwhelming. Ask one question at a time. So this is an example of what we would do is we would go back into the GPT, we would hit edit, and we would try again to convince it to only ask us one question at a time. How often have these confusing or invalidating interactions occur? What context do they usually happen? At work with I'm just going to spitballing, at work with my boss. Okay, and now, by the way, ChatGPT gives you options for which response you like best because it's learning about you. Can you recall a specific example? I felt like they, what is a good example of? I felt like they were critical of my work, but it was a group project and I didn't really do the thing that they seemed to think, but I was held accountable. But to be honest, I'm not sure what even was wrong. And so I'm wondering, maybe they weren't actually being critical. Okay, see everybody, see how we're like having a little therapy sesh with ChatGPT? Like, this is valuable, First of all, it's available 24/7. And you can definitely Google this stuff. You can read all the articles, but see how it's your own little database of helpful information. And right now, it's going out into the internet to pull some of the best advice that it can. Right now, it's probably outside of our knowledge base, but you can always tell it, only use the knowledge base. Okay. When your boss was critical of the work, how did they communicate the feedback to you? I'm going to say in email that I only kind of understood. I may be reading into their tone. I mean, I'm showing some self-awareness here that I know that I might be being gaslighted, and I also know that I might be making it up. You could totally just say, here's what they said in the email. Okay, so here's how you could address this for clarity. Would you feel comfortable asking your boss for a brief meeting or discussion to clarify the feedback given in the email? This could be a chance for you to express your confusion and seek specific examples or guidance on how to improve, as well as to clarify your contributions to the group project. I'm going to say, that sounds good, but can you give me talking points because I'm not confident I will come across the way I want to as a good colleague and supportive of my boss. And see how like my sentences don't even really make sense, but somehow or another, ChatGPT kind of knows what I mean. And in a second, I'm going to move on from this use case. So for folks who are here, if you haven't already, let me know how you use ChatGPT, if you've used it for like more than 10 hours, less than 10 hours, if you use it every day, if you're somewhere in the middle, that's going to help me as I as I teach the rest of the use cases. And also for those who have just joined, if you point your cell phone camera at the QR code in the upper left-hand corner, I think it's upper left, it's my left, maybe it's your right, you will get to the AI, the responsible AI stuff that we do for nonprofits and higher ed. So if you're interested in learning more about that, go for it. Okay. So, all right. So these are not, okay. Thank you for taking the time to give feedback on the project. Value your input and the opportunity to learn and improve. I wanted to discuss the email you sent about the project. I'm a bit unsure about some points and would like to understand better so I can address any issues effectively. Okay. So I'm going to now say, great, but send me just the talking points and make them less stilted because that's not how I talk. So remember, everybody, this is a custom GPT. You can make one in 5 minutes. You can make one in 10 minutes. You could spend hours on it. I think you saw I've got a bajillion of them. If you're interested, I've got Visit Email and Cadence. I've got Thank You Note Maker. My Thank You Note Maker is bomb, absolutely bomb. I've got Promote Your Event if you need to write event invitations. I've got, I can teach you how to train a custom GPT to write like yourself or your boss, your dean, your executive director, your brand. So I've got, for each of my clients, I've got one of these that talks like them. It's trained on their voice. It's trained on recordings of them. It's trained on stuff they've written. And even though sometimes people do love to say that ChatGPT doesn't write very well, here's what to remember. The goal is not to have ChatGPT write really well. The goal is twofold. The goal is, one, to be an effective communicator. Our goal is not to write beautiful prose. That does not get us anywhere. Our goal is to be an effective communicator, right? The la 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 as a fundraiser, like, yes, you're going to use lovely donor-friendly language, but your goal is to be a clear communicator. And that's where it's you and your subject matter expertise as a fundraiser, right? Plus AI. The sum is better than the whole of the parts. Okay. So we don't need to bother thinking whether ChatGPT is a good enough writer or not. That is a mindset and a narrative that is whatevs, right? Like, I don't encourage you to to live in that space because it's not, first of all, it's not true. Second of all, it's just a limiting mindset. Okay. So real quick, thank you for the feedback on the project. I really want to get this right. So I hoped we could chat a bit more about it. I like that. I could totally say that. About your email, I'm not totally clear on some parts. Could you help me understand the main issues a bit better? See, I would not think of saying it that way. I'm all for improving and making sure I'm doing my part as well. What should I focus on changing or doing differently? Okay, discussing the group project. Like, this would be hard for me because I'd be like, I don't want to throw my colleagues under the bus. So let's see what it says. Since it was a group effort, I'm trying to figure out my exact role in the feedback. I want to make sure I'm pulling my weight and helping us succeed. Do you have any advice on what I can do better next time? Thanks for taking the time to help me out with this, blah, blah, blah. Right? Good. Okay. So now we're going to move on because time is ticking. The next thing we are going to do, so now remember, that was a custom GPT. And actually, let's see, I might be able to put this, for those of you who have GPT Plus, I am going to put this into the chat. Oh, actually, did I make this available to everyone? I think I did. Everyone. Yeah. So here you go. If you want to find out how to build psychological safety in your teams, or you want to figure out if you've been gaslit, if you want to figure out how psychological safety and metrics work together or don't, you can investigate here. You can be in conversation. Okay, so now here's what we're going to do next. We are going to, so that was search. Now we are going to do the next thing, which is we did search, we did predict. All right, this is real quick. Okay, I have just like a demo meeting summary. So, there are lots of ways for you to get your meeting summaries together, right? Like you may have recorded something, you may have recorded a meeting, you may have left yourself a voice note after a meeting, which you can do with ChatGPT 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a meeting follow-up workflow to help predict what questions the donor, and you can do this before meeting, obviously, as you're thinking about, what might this donor have questions about in preparation for a visit. So you're predicting what questions they might have. So here we go. Here is our demo of where I just spoke a meeting into ChatGPT. So I had a meeting with Minnie Mouse. So that's what I do. I do Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, blah, 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 whoever, and Disneyland Enterprises. So I never put a proper noun in there just to be safe. So I'm going to just say, I had this meeting with Minnie Mouse. See below. And now I'm wondering what her next questions might be about the STEM camp that is featured here. So now you're going to just pull I'm going to just, do STEM camp for young STEM leaders or something like that. I'm just going to pull, there we go. Okay, it's at Rice University. Perfect. Okay, so we go back to ChatGPT, which is where did it go? Here it is. Hopefully, okay, you guys can't see it. Okay, so I put oh, this is wrong. This is not my right. Hold on, everybody. No, I lost my ChatGPT tab. Sorry about this, everybody. Okay, so, I'm going to say I had the meeting below with Minnie Mouse and it went well. See below. What are the challenges or questions or objections she might have about the program now that we've had this meeting? Here is the program. Please research this website. You don't really have to say that, but just in case. And then I'll go back real quick. Sorry about this. No, that is not. Oh my word, everybody. Why am I going through 50 million different screens? This is like ADHD. Welcome to my brain. Hmm. Okay, everybody, just bear with me. I do not know where my ChatGPT went. So let's just see. Oh, by the way, it's not sharing properly. That's part of it. Sorry, everybody. I know, Donnie. Donnie's saying, we can't see the screen you're on. I know. Okay. Here we go. This is all part of it, right? So I'm saying research this website and the meeting notes from before, which I'm going to grab again. Sorry. If these are just dummy notes. And remember, we said I will not put confidential information into ChatGPT. This is how we avoid it. We say Minnie, Mickey. We don't use proper names. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so our goal right here is to predict. Remember, I said that ChatGPT is good at predicting stuff. Generative AI is good at predicting stuff. So right now it's doing a little research on what this camp at Rice is all about because Minnie and I talked about the camp. Now, based on our conversation that we had, we are asking it. So it reviewed the meeting notes. I didn't make those into a contact report, which, by the way, one of my GPTs does that if you want it. How does the curriculum align with Disneyland specific objectives? Customization for engineering focus. Is there flexibility in the curriculum to emphasize certain areas of engineering or hospitality? So based on our meeting, Minnie was going to go talk to some tech leaders to find out about their interest in participating in this project. Highly likely they came back with questions to say like, is it an engineering focus? Is it a science focus? Is it math? Is it computer science? Like, what's it all about and how does it relate to our company? Can the program scale? So that's a question that Minnie would definitely have. I know that, but 10 years ago, I wouldn't have known that. And if I wasn't in STEM, I wouldn't know that. If I was like a liberal arts fundraiser or a Boys and Girls Club, and I hadn't been immersed in STEM for 20 years, I wouldn't be able to predict that like somebody in a negotiation about a STEM camp for girls to learn about physics, about roller coasters, I wouldn't know, right? So she's going to ask about scalability. So now I'm going to say, I think scalability is the biggest concern. How can I overcome any objections? So, one of the ways that we sometimes do development is we really lean on the relationship with our donors. And that's cool and everything, but, psychologically, we're trying to build the know, like, and trust factor. We want them to look to us for reliable information. We want them to know that we know what the heck is going on. It's not that we're trying to represent ourselves as like Nobel Prize winning physicists by any means, but we are trying to indicate that, we're a hub of information. We are leaders in higher ed or in our nonprofit, like we're in the heart of it and we are a resource to them and that they can feel confident working with us. So when we kind of give like well, how it goes, it's really complicated. I'm not sure. Let me go back to campus and find out. Like, that's cool. And you're not trying to say you're an expert in physics or whatever, but this is a way for you to be a more informed person of service to them, which makes you more valuable, which makes them open your emails and take your calls and help you. And after they say they're going to make a gift, they sign the gift agreement, blah, 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 right? We want mutual accountability in these relationships. So they gave me some answers. I'm going to say, just give me talking points. And then I'm going to go on to the next use case. And Donnie, drop the website again where people can get all the recordings. Let's see. Okay. These are not talking points. Give me verbatim. Because I don't want to have to do that next step of reading something and figuring out how would I phrase that in language. I just give me the talking points. It's kind of like when we're writing a briefing for like leaders. Sometimes you're going to give them background and sometimes you're just going to say, here are your talking points. All right, so now we get two choices. I'm going to go with that. Our partnership with ID Tech leverages a nationwide network, proving we can manage the logistics and scale of student cohorts effectively. Adopting blended learning and technological innovations such as VR establishes us to scale our reach without compromising educational quality, blah, blah, blah. So you see, now we have a good path for dealing with any objections. All right, so real quick, it's 11:57. Hang in here with me for one more example of how you can use ChatGPT as your 24/7 mentor. Okay, are you ready for this one? Here's the benefit of this particular one. I'm going to have us put together a creative brief for an event. And I'm guessing if you're a development officer or any other role in fundraising, you have plenty of experience with having to talk to people about events and what the program is going to be like and what color the tablecloths are going to be and who's going to speak and where it's going to be and all that stuff. We want to minimize that kind of work because that is not our zone of genius, right? For frontline fundraisers, doing event planning is really, really important. We have lots of expertise to lend to it, but let's stay in our zone of genius and not be talking about tablecloths. So you're going to take everything that you've learned about your culture and your community and your collaborators, and you're going to factor that into creating a creative brief for your event that looks super profesh. And over time, you're going to improve upon that template or model or prompt so that your creative briefs just breeze through because it's consistent and people come to really rely on you and respect your good work because it's rinse and repeat. It's something they've already approved and they're just seeing a fresh version of it, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you have a recipe for banger events and they get all the objectives that everybody is looking for, then you're going to rinse and repeat that document so that, because what's your goal? Your goal is to get that event plan approved and move on with your life. So just a couple of things like, okay, you are an expert event planner. So you always give ChatGPT a role. I need your help building a creative brief for an event. I'm going to preempt it with a bunch of information, but normally what I would do is I would say, ask me 10 questions one at a time about the event. It's a donor cultivation event hosted by lead volunteers in Miami, Florida at the whatever hotel. Guests are donors to the art center. The program includes artists. Please write me an event briefing. And normally what I would do is I would upload a PDF of a template or one that has worked really well before or whatever. I would probably give it some more context. But to be honest, almost every time I've worked with ChatGPT to build an event briefing, the format is approximately like this, and it's good, right? Like there's not all that much more that I need to provide it in order for it to be useful to me. Okay. But if you have like a template that your organization uses and it has to be in that template, you can upload that template to this as long as it doesn't have anything like super duper proprietary. All right, so this has made some very educated guesses on what are your metrics for success. But let's say our metrics, I see there's still 26 of you here, so I'm going to keep going. If you have to peace out, have a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much for being here. DM me with questions. DM me if you want prompts. If you want to come to any of our events, be sure to go to that bit.ly link to get all the recordings and the slides and any other resources. Maybe before you peace out, point your phone at our QR code if you want to get more information about how we help people. So our metrics are 100 guests, 95% show up rate, happy deans, happy guests, everyone feels close to the university and that we are grateful. What else? What would be event metrics? And that our guests are mostly principal gift donors. Please update. And then I'm going to show you a little trick. So this is called reprompting. We're just like in a convo. We're just updating as we go, right? It's like no big. We're just going to keep talking. We're going to get this to the point that we want to get it to. There are two other ways to do that. The first one is really easy. Let's say we're like, this is good, but like I want something a little bit better / a little bit different. And maybe it seems like it's just, I don't know, it could be better, right? So you can, once you realize that, you just hit regenerate. So for example, if ChatGPT is writing something for you and you're like, God, this is just like blah, hit regenerate a couple of times before you go deep, deep, deep into reprompting. Like just give it more time, give it another chance, just like you would an intern. So ChatGPT is your super smart, egoless, eager to please intern. And it is here to make you successful. And hot tip, ChatGPT likes positive reinforcement. I know, I don't make the rules, but it is true. So if you say, hey, this is really good, I know that we can make this a little bit better because you're really good at your job and you know that this is important for my job. You could say, take a deep breath. You can say, if you get this right on the first time, I'll give you a tip of $100. You will get a better result. I know. I don't love that, but it is just the way it is. Okay, so, goody. So now it's giving us ideas for swag. Cool. So I showed you regenerate. You can use regenerate until the cows come home. And sometimes that's just the easiest way. I also showed you reprompting. Okay. But here's where we're going to do ourselves do our future self a solid, and we're going to actually edit our prompt. Because over time, what we want to have is a personal library of the prompts that have given us the output that is just like dreamy. So you're going to edit this prompt so that you can get closer to having something that you can rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So what we're going to say is, also, I need ideas on swag. Also, I need you to draft a program within the briefing. Also, yeah, I need you to draft, be super concise, like no extra words. By the way, when you say know this, know that, ChatGPT will pretty much will sometimes ignore you because it likes positive. So you would have to rephrase that as direct language works best with my audience or something like that. You guys, there's still 27 of you here. You sure you want to hang around with me like this on a Friday? Okay. I love it. Oh gosh, it doesn't look like, am I live still? I don't even see myself on. Okay, geez. I don't know. Are you on here? You guys, send me a text, send me a message in the chat if you're still here. Okay, so here we're getting a little bit, right? It's getting a little better. And you can see how obviously you can move this stuff around. Okay, but now here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, that's dope. Good job. Yay, you. Now, okay, Seth, goody, thank you. By the way, Seth, how's this going? Is this helpful to you? Please let me know, because I now know that you're here. You're tippy tapping. Tell me, is this helpful? Have you seen all this stuff before? Is this kind of stuff that you want to learn how to do with ChatGPT? That's dope. Good job. Now, at this point, can you switch gears and draft an event invitation for me? So here's what I would do. In reality, I would upload probably, if it didn't have any confidential information, I would upload an event invite that I really love. And this use case is so important to me because I do not know why, I cannot explain it, but I will torture my soul over writing an event invitation. I do not know why it is so hard for me, but I always feel like I have to choose the perfect words. But there are really only so many ways you can say it. But I'll get hung up on, is it PST or PDT? Or should I write Pacific? Or should I write Pacific time? Or should I write Pacific Standard Time? Or should I write Pacific Daylight Time? I will think about. Okay, good, Seth. I am really interested in what part it's frustrating. Is it frustrating because you're getting results that you're not real excited about, that you're just I could have come up with this myself. I could have Googled this. Cool. Oh, I knew what you meant. Okay, so let's see. So again, I would have uploaded one that really works well for my organization. For example, sometimes you would include the dress code. Sometimes you wouldn't, right? You're cordially invited to an evening of inspiration, connection, and artistic exploration at the blah, blah. Oh, it came up with a name for our event. Lovely, because I hate coming up with names for events. That's a super good use of ChatGPT, by the way. Titles, subject lines, names for an event or initiative or anything where you just need a burst of creativity. This is a perfect example of when ChatGPT can help you get through writer's block. It's just a solve for writer's block. And it's sometimes I'll get the goofiest responses, but it'll give me a crumb of something that'll get me over that writer's block. So all of a sudden now I've got some inspiration. I've got a little bit of zhuzh. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just going to say this is too long. Too many words. Too much fluff. Calm down. I don't like saying anything harsh to ChatGPT, but just in the interest of time, I'm just going to say calm down rather than please use direct language and avoid any hackneyed terms, blah, blah, blah. So, oh, see, here's a good one. Okay, so cool. Now let's explore. There's still 27 people here, you all. Okay, now let's explore different. You know what? Okay, I'm wondering. Oh, I'm so tempted to show you another tool. Put this in the back of your mind. Maybe jot a note. Perplexity.ai. Perplexity.ai. It will be your new search engine. So we're doing away with Google. We're not using Google anymore because we do not need to waste our brain calories on going through a whole bunch of Google links. That's not for us anymore. We do not need to scroll through all the ads and all the nonsense because we now have tools that give us the information, the articles, the background, summaries in multiple different formats, and insights from the information, and ideas for follow-up questions. And it's like, I'm a researcher, I'm an over-preparer. So for me to not have to mess around with a tool like Google anymore is like, I mean, I'm saving like maybe easily 5 hours a week. Easily 5 hours a week just using Perplexity instead of Google. Yeah. And I have this dope use case about how I did the very, very best work of my whole entire life recently for a client, in part because I used a combination of Perplexity, my 25 years of experience, my work with my 9 months with the client, doing fractional fundraising and strategic consulting and staffing the executive director. And then I was able to, yeah. Yes, you do. That's it, Seth. A little bit of extra practice, you'll get over that hump. And you'll if you start, I could totally coach you a little bit more specifically, but if you put more time in with even just a couple of little level ups, you'll get to that point where you get satisfied and you're like, okay, now I get what the hype is. Now I'm willing to invest more time, right? Another approach is that's probably the best approach, it's mindset. It's just mindset. And then you'll start, and also remember that this is the worst it's ever going to be. It's just getting better and better. Okay. So anyway, put in the back of your mind, Perplexity AI. And I spent the additional $20 a month because of what I just told you. I'm such a researcher, and Perplexity AI is so good that I just couldn't resist. Just could not resist. Again, oh, I forgot to tell you guys how to get your $20 back. I'll show you that after this. So, okay, so here's a little one. Now let's say, can you please send me 10 potential subject lines for this email so it gets opened. Unlock a night. See, it loves the word unlock. You have if you are going to use ChatGPT for stuff, reach out to me. I will send you a list of all of the ChatGPT telltale signs. Unlock, unveil. Those are the only two that unlock is the only one that shows up here. That's yeah. Okay. Unlock a night of art and creativity, your exclusive invite. Art lovers, you're invited. Experience art like never before. Exclusive invitation. I don't know, exclusive invitation. If it's to your donors and they see it's from you, that may resonate. Join us for an unforgettable evening of art and elegance. You're invited. An artistic evening awaits. That's kind of nice. Artscapes, where creativity meets community. Depending on the culture of your organization, that might be really good. Or you could say, hey, actually, this is about performing arts, or there's going to be music and we want to highlight it, or whatever. Cool? Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to get. Oh, and by the way, you could just keep going with this. Write a thank you note to the guests, blah, 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 blah. And because you can train ChatGPT on your voice, your brand's voice, your executive director's voice, when you write thank you notes to your guests or to your hosts, they will come out in your language. You will need to edit them, right? Because it's going to continue to include words like beacon or like la, 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 right? You're going to need to edit it, but it's going to be 90% accurate. Once you learn some of the prompting techniques that I'm going to teach you the next Friday, or if you DM me, I can teach you, you'll start getting exactly what you need. I promise you. Okay, exactly is a strong word, but you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be really close. Okay, friends, are you ready for this? Here is how you're going to get your $20 back per month. Okay. One of the really cool things that ChatGPT has, ChatGPT 4 has, is something called vision. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of, see if I have anything that will work for this. Okay. Yes. So here's what you would do. You're going to take a picture of your closet. It doesn't need to be a good picture per se. Try to capture as much of it. Doesn't matter if your closet is hella messy. Doesn't matter if your spring shoes are missing. Like, you're there to get some inspo. Here's what you're going to do. So you're going to take a picture. You're going to take a couple pictures. And then you're going to go see, you can kind of see I've got these pictures of my outfits of the day. Pretend that this is my closet. So I'm going to pick 4. One in a pink jacket, yellow dress. Oops, accidentally hit a whole bunch of them. So select. Okay, I've got yellow dress, pink blazer. We'll just pretend that this is my whole closet. Like, I only have like 5 pieces of clothing or something. I'll get one more in here. Let's see. Okay, how about my weird hat? Okay, so I've selected all. And now, hold on. Hold on, everybody. Don't go anywhere. Don't you even think about it. This is going to be worth it. I promise. I promise. I promise. Promise, promise, promise. Okay, I had to grab my photos again. I grabbed an event outfit this time. Ooh, here's a bunch of shirts. They're guys' shirts, but it doesn't matter. Ooh, then there's another t-shirt from my son. I'm just going to pretend. Okay, cool. Okay, so I've got 4 photos. So hold on, let me clean this off. So see, I've got a photo of myself and my friends in evening gear. I've got a bunch of, you can't see, I've got a bunch of shirts. Now I'm going to say, I'm going to a St. Patrick's Day. I wrote St. Particles. It'll know, St. Patrick's Day party tomorrow. It's a clothing swap, which is true. My favorite party of the year. It's a clothing swap and St. Patrick's Day. It's a clothing swap. Time check. I know, Donnie, it's 12:19, but there are so many people still here. I don't want to go off. Do I have another meeting? Is that what you're trying to say? It's a clothing swap based on these photos. What should I wear? All right, so pretend you're going to a wedding or a baby shower or a graduation party or a donor event. And you know that the attire is, you want to look like a tech founder. You want to look elegant. You want to look bohemian, right? It says you've got some vibrant and joyful options. Since it's St. Patrick's Day, something green would be fitting. The Yosemite shirt has a muted green tone and a casual vibe. Swap ready. Opt for items that are versatile. Accessorize. You seem to enjoy accessories. So bring along some fun jewelry. Okay, I'm going to say using these photos, tell me exactly what to wear from this selection. So now it's got to put together an outfit for me, an exact outfit from the things that I already showed it. Okay, top. Start with the Yosemite hospitality t-shirt from the third photo. It's a green tone, is perfect for St. Patrick's Day, and the graphics are festive, yet not over the top. Bottom. Since the t-shirt is casual, consider a bottom that can elevate the look. None were shown in the photos, but a pair of dark jeans or a skirt with subtle print could complement the shirt well. A denim jacket from the last photo is a great addition. Oh, Donnie's telling me I have a million things to do. Yeah, it's very true. I do. Accessories. Go for the statement necklace and bracelets seen in the last photo. Do you see? Money in the bank. Now, use this example. Take a picture of your refrigerator and a picture of your pantry and say, I do not want to go to the grocery store today. I want to have a good dinner. What should I make? You say, it's for my whole family. My kid currently doesn't eat green food, or we're gluten free, or I only want recipes with 5 ingredients or less, or I am willing to go to the grocery store, but the trip needs to be 10 minutes or less. So show me the foods that are on the outer aisles, because I don't want to be walking around Fred Meyer all night on Friday bumping into people I know. Again, there's your $20 back, right? Month in, month out. Month in, month out. Thank you, Seth. You have a happy weekend too. How about if we leave it there, everybody? It was an honor and a pleasure. If you can't tell, I love, 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 love teaching this stuff. It's just an honor and a pleasure and a joy and a treat. And my goal is for all of you to help guide us into the future with the AI revolution. Now that you've been here, you are in like the top 1% of users of ChatGPT, assuming that you try at least say 2 or 3 examples from what I shared today. You will be in the tippy top tier of people around the whole entire world who know how to use generative AI responsibly. That's it for the day. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy sunshine. Rest and rejuvenate. June 30th will be here before we know it. And yeah, you know where to find me. I'm on LinkedIn constantly. I post almost every day. Gary, awesome. The recording will be up. Oh, Donnie, will you drop the link real quick again? Gary, we put the recordings of the videos plus the slides plus additional resources into the address that my business partner and husband is about to drop into the chat. So you can head over there in I don't know, half hour, and you'll be able to download or whatever, watch, view, whatever is most meaningful to you, however you learn best, over at that link. I put every Friday that I'm here up there, and I'm here almost every Friday. So come back. And I'll see you all again soon. Next week I'm traveling, but the week after that I will be back. And I'm going to teach you how to write better prompts so that you will get none of the prompts that I showed you today are good prompts. They're all, fine. I mean, you saw I got fine output, right? Stuff that you would need to edit, but still fine. But I will get you to the point where you will get really, really good results. Okay, everybody, have a beautiful weekend.